Okay, everybody, it's behind the scenes chaos. So, today we are going to be looking at Halloween cards. I'm having to use my AirPods, so let me know if you can hear me. But I'm so glad that you're here today because I cannot get over these spinner cards, which are hard to spin when I'm standing here, but they are so fun. We're gonna make 2 Halloween cards, and I'll put it over to the side. Thank you, Polly. Polly popped up, she can hear me. Okay, so, and we've got 2 of them. This one is adorable. This one's gonna be our faster one, but each one has a little bit of a problem. Hang on. Hang on just a second. I think that my... Hang on just... I'm sorry, guys. Can you still hear me? Is that better? Can you hear me now? Okay, so I'm trying to watch all of your things. Let's put it over here and I'll keep watching. Keep telling me in comments. I'm gonna be a little bit delayed on my comments because I had to, these AirPods want to try to connect to everything around me, and so they were trying to connect to me watching the video, which is a little bit space behind. I see Southern California, Ohio. Oh, I'm so excited. Let me get myself popped up right here. Okay, we have so much fun today. We are going to play with these amazing things. Thank you so much for telling me you can hear me. But they are so fun, and I've done lots of extra things to them. This even spins down here. Oh my goodness. And these are all products from Spellbinders. So I'm gonna be showing you lots of fun stuff from their new release. And we're gonna look at a couple different things. How do you create a spinner on an embossing folder background? There's definitely some tips. How do you create these little small ones and this? And how do you get them to spin the way that they are supposed to? That can sometimes be a little bit of a challenge. So I am going to show you not only some amazing ink blending, which we have lots of fun with, we've got brads, we've got glitter paper, we have so much stuff coming up. And then of course how to get it to spin, just the general principles of what you need on the card and how you need to lay it out so that you've got room for these to spin. So I cannot wait to show you. I've been doing lots of playing with these. We're gonna be doing some die cutting. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff. I'm using these 2, and I just put this all in one big thing. We're gonna use this one, which is the Frankenstein. I think he's called Frank. I don't remember what his actual name is. Frank. And then I think it's Sir Skeleton. So we'll be putting these pieces together. And of course, as always, I have done lots and lots of fun stuff with just the details. We're gonna play with details. And like I said, I was having a little trouble getting on here, so if I seem a little bit frazzled, just give me a minute to get my wits about me after all of that craziness. Thank you so much, Rachel, for being here. I will say, these things that we're using are sold out everywhere. Not the die cuts, but these. These are what are called card spinners. And so they're little metal pieces that spin. And I have looked, if you find them somewhere, pop it in the chat. But I have looked everywhere. I know they will be restocking, but I think they sold out pretty much immediately because these are really fun cards, especially for Halloween. I'm actually looking at making some Christmas ones too. So I'm super excited about that. But we're gonna do lots of fun things. And they come in different sizes. So this is the large size. And then these are the little teeny tiny, sorry, I ripped up the package as I did it, the small. And you can get an assortment package. I'm gonna use the small on the gravestones, and I'm gonna use the large for the bigger elements. So you just wanna make sure if you got something really tiny that you have a tiny spinner. Awesome, thank you guys. I'm so excited. I'm so glad. Let me just like chill out for a second here. So a couple things that I did want to tell you because I know y'all are always asking. The replay winner from the last live stream has been announced. It is D Green 4843, and I have not heard from her. So if she's in the chat, tell her to give me a little, she needs to send me an email. If she doesn't, in the next few days we'll give that prize away again, and we're having giveaways this time. What I thought I would do this time for you is a little bit different on the giveaways. This live stream is not sponsored. You know, Spellbinders sent me a few things to make it with, but they're not, you know, sponsoring this. So the giveaways are coming from my stash, and I thought it might be kind of fun to send you one of these cards. So I'm gonna say the live stream winner gets Frank. and the replay winner gets Sir Skeleton. So live winner, replay winner. So if you want one of those mailed to you, that's what our prizes are going to be today. So tell me, which one's your favorite, skeleton or Frankenstein? Let's see which one. Yeah, so I know there's other companies that have spinners, but I have only tried the Spellbinders spinners, so that's all that I can really speak to. So if you're asking if the other ones are good, this is the only one that I've tried. So I'll try to be as honest with you as I can and tell you some just little details about it, but it really is pretty easy. There's definitely some balancing and a little bit of detail that goes along with that, but we will work on it. I've figured it all out. So here we go. Let's cut out our cute skeleton first. This is brushed white cardstock. Can you see that it kind of gleams? I thought that was so cute. Yeah, and getting the whole body of the skeleton was a little bit like, you had to do a little bit of assessing. And so you want to be really good with your glue placement, with your the weight of your cardstock. Just make sure you're not making one part of that body way too heavy, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's start with our skeleton. We're gonna do our little skeleton head. We'll give him a head. He's got his little pelvis here, his rib cage. So you put that right there. He's got these two arm bones. Gosh, those crack me up. I don't know why. And these hands. Every part of this guy is like really cute. And we're even gonna use some googly eyes because in case you didn't know, I love to go in on all the details. Oh my goodness. Hi Sissy, how are you? Oh, I see skeleton. So today when I'm seeing comments, I think Rachel's out there. Rachel, when it's time to pick winners and stuff, or I'm missing a comment, I can only get about 3 of my comments on this screen right here. And usually I'm able to check the other video, but this time I'm only going to be able to see 3 at a time. So if they come in really fast and I miss something, will you make sure you point me back to that, Rachel? All right, let's get some die cutting done. So we're starting off with the skeleton. He is so precious. Okay, y'all are gonna see when he just turns over. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. Oh my gosh, okay, hang on. So we're gonna and he's pretty simple to put together. It actually took me a minute to like look at him and match the bones, but you know, I'm a nurse, so should be able to put together a skeleton, right? If not, that's probably a problem. Okay, if not, you probably don't want me as your nurse, right? Okay, I'm cracking myself up, sorry. Okay, thank you, Rachel. So we got all of his pieces. A couple of extra things that I did on him is I cut out his head, his eyes. Cut out his eyes. I just cut out the plain eyes. We need a little hat for him, a bow tie, and a ribbon around the hat. And you know what? Look, I said I was gonna put his skeleton together and I missed his legs. Hang on, we need some legs too. So I decided that this guy would be even cuter, not only spinning, but spinning with googly eyes. So we're gonna add some googly eyes to him. And those googly eyes, I didn't put on my supply list because I actually don't know where I got them. But we're looking at spinners today. I'm gonna try to keep this in the view so you can see that we're looking at spinners today. But we're gonna get some of our glitter paper, because why not use some glitter paper? Let's give him a glittery hat and some glittery eyes. Okay, good. I'm glad people like it when I crack myself up, especially when I can't read all your comments as fast. Y'all are gonna hear me just getting tickled at myself. I'm sorry. It's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy day, and it's always crazy when you're trying to get going and your stuff's not working. So okay, so we got a hat. You see I'm recutting out the skeleton, and I'm doing that because I want this little nose. So that little nose right there, that little heart, I want it to be glittery as well because it's a place where the skull like recesses. And so I decided that I would cut that out of black just to get me that little cute one. And then you could use the skull if you wanted to. You could make a black glittery skeleton. I've seen plenty of black glittery skeletons. So, what won? Tell me which one won, Skeleton or Frank? Who won in the comments? Can somebody pop up who seemed to have the majority? I'd like to know, and it's hard for me to count as they go by. And if you hadn't hit the thumbs up, make sure you do that. Okay, so glitter paper, always a little bit hard to cut out of, so just be cautious. Sometimes it needs a little bit of extra effort. I could probably have put another shim in there, but instead I'm just going to cut those little fluffy edges that didn't cut right. There we go. And this glitter paper is not super heavyweight, okay? He wants to bend a little bit. I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. Because we do have to fix that or he's going to cause it not to spin. So everything when you're spinning has to be perfectly level, okay? Which is what I think that you should definitely keep in mind. And it's going to take it, like you'll see, it takes a little bit of planning to get that right. So I will show you how to do it. Don't worry. No fear. Okay, all we need is our red bow tie and our red thing for our hat. So there's a couple of ways you could fix the hat. I decided that I would cut it out of just a harder cardstock because see how it wants to bend like this? Can you see that bend? I'm going to cut it out of a really stiff cardstock and just give it some extra weight to it. So I'm going to use, this is just a scrap piece, but let's see. Yeah, all these are scrap pieces, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a scrap piece. I think I'm going to use a scrap of like the hardest. This one's actually thicker. Of this one. Sorry. Let me get some of my other stuff out of the way. And we're going to make an extra hat because that hat wants to bend. So make yourself extra. If you've got pieces that are not staying perfectly flat, use some really intense, thick cardstock. This is a 120-pound cardstock right here that I use for my card bases. So I know it's going to hold its shape like it should. I see. Okay. I can't tell what that emoji is. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get some red. So I'm just going to use a scrap of red because I just need it for his little bow tie and his hat. And we're actually going to cut out our boo to you sign from it. Let's just cut it all real quick. So the way that these work, if you've seen these from Spellbinders, these are little labels and you can change out what words go in your label. And so you really have to be careful when you lay them down that you have this even. So I've got boo to you, and I'm going to tape this on here because if you make it crooked on the inside, it's going to be crooked on your label. So you really want to make sure. See how I got that even now? And I'm going to tape all over that to make sure that it stays even. I'm taping it together even though I have a magnetic mat. Now these, it doesn't really matter, but that one it does. Yeah, die cutting glitter paper can be very difficult, I will agree. Sometimes I add extra shims, sometimes I just make an impression in it and really have to cut it out, but this glitter paper from Spellbinders is a thinner glitter paper, so it does cut, it's just getting all the pieces to cut sometimes is a little bit difficult. So we have our beautiful skeleton. I'm going to start assembling him, and then we're going to start looking at what makes this thing spin and really talk about it and see what y'all think. And how are we doing with how zoomed in it, or where we are? Are we okay on the zoom? Do I need to zoom any more for you? Okay, here's how this turns out. So the letters punch out. Let me get my bow tie in this too. Hang on. Okay, I'm starting to calm down now. Oh, there goes my bow. So you get these little things stuck in your mat. I know you can use wax paper, but I'm gonna get those out and then we'll punch them out. So it gives you a quick, easy sentiment, and it looks really good with something behind it. So we're gonna use a scrap of our white paper, our white, what's that called? Brushed white cardstock. Look at that. And see, with white behind it, it looks really nice. Okay, so Yeah, I'm surprised at how many of you are. I wasn't sure if you'd be pro skeleton or you'd be pro Frank. I loved the skeleton, his whole body moves. I also really like this, and I tried to figure out a good way to do it, but it just wasn't seen. It's got a heart right here. I feel like you could put the heart in his chest. It just wasn't super visible for me, so I said I wasn't going to do that this time. Oops, I almost lost my bow. Okay, let's put this guy together and let's work on making him spin. First thing I'm going to do is reinforce this glitter. Okay, look at how bent that is. So I'm going to take just plain white and we're going to reinforce that because it is not going to work. If you try to spin this, look at how much, like there's no way that's spinning. No way. Everything needs to be perfectly flat. Yeah, that's good. So zooming a bit more. Okay, so now that we're down to small pieces, I am going to zoom just a little bit more. That means I'm going to shake this just a little bit. Hang on. Too zoomy. Like right here. You think that's a little bit better? Is that good for you, Nancy? Okay, I'll zoom out again if I need to. All right, I'm going to use glue. You could use whatever you want, but I know that I'm going to have some trouble getting this to line up right, so I'm going to use some glue. And by that I mean because it's bent, I'm really going to have to hold it flat and make sure it covers this. So here we go. So are you into, so tell me out there, a yes or no, do you usually make Halloween cards? Okay, once I think I've got this, I'm gonna have to put weight on it. That's how bent the glitter is, so, and how much we need it to be straight. I like it to be straight on a normal day, but when it's gotta be flat for a spinner card, ooh, you better get it straight. So I'm gonna hold lots of pressure on this. Just gonna set it over to the side with this weight on it, okay? So that's going over there. Let's work on this guy. So I like to lay this out and make sure I've got all my pieces. So you've got a little dot right here that kind of tells you that's where it's connecting. Okay, so it kind of guides you on that. We've got our arms that are going to go out to the side, our arm bones. We have our chest, which needs to go over this piece. So let me get my chest pieces undone. Yeah, Halloween cards are so fun to make because, to me, I get to use colors that I don't always get to use, and so I get real excited about just the creativity of them, you know? It's not so much that Halloween has always been a time that I send cards, but as my kids get older and, you know, I just think that they enjoy getting something cute. Maybe that plus candy. Is that the right way for his little legs? Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and get his eyes glued on because these are that glitter that's going to need to be held down. So I'm going to have to put, I'm a little bit too high right now, sorry. Let's go here. Y'all just tell me if I'm out of the camera. There's so many cute releases. Yeah, I think that's true too. My husband was actually saying that. He's like, Halloween holiday is always just seems to be fun because, you know, it's more of like just playing, using crazy colors. And he said, you know, there's not like you got to get to this place. You're usually at your house for Halloween. So it seems like it just is an easier, more laid back holiday. So we'll give him some sparkly eyes. And I started to leave it like that. And then I was like, this guy needs a little bit more character in his eyes. And it does come with like a little white thing that goes over it. But I'm going to need to probably hold those eyes down, like I said. Okay, I'm going to hold those down, and we're going to start connecting the pelvis and the arms. So here's where we're just going to slowly add little bits of glue. Now, I wouldn't do this stuff with foam tape because, like I said, it's all about the weight of this. Yeah, it's perfectly fine to make fall cards too. We're just playing with these spinners, and I actually had an idea, and I'll see how y'all are thinking, but I kind of think it'd be cool to do some Christmas spinner cards too. I got a couple things that I might do. We'll see how much y'all like spinner cards, and if you want me to do more, you just let me know. So I get my 100, yeah. Oh, I'll remind everybody too, just because I can see this one. I see your question, Jay Stolman. So where I get my 120-pound cardstock is I actually do an Amazon cardstock called Accent Opaque White. It's a really thick cardstock. It is not acceptable for ink blending. It's acceptable for building up cards and for, I'm gonna put this guy just a little tilted. I don't want his legs too far out. It's more acceptable for card bases. Did I put his feet in the right way? I think I put them on backwards. I feel like that's his big toe. Hang on. Let's try that again. Assembling the skeleton backwards. If ever you assemble your skeleton backwards, you could just say that's part of the Halloween prank, you know? So I'm trying to be careful not to bend these legs, and I'll show you why later. We may even have to bend them up a little bit. Everything perfectly flat. There we go. That looks better. Now our big toes are in the middle. So we got our little arm bones. I'm not really sure which way this arm bone goes, but I'm going to go like here. Let's see. Here maybe? Okay. We're just going to put them on. It's not an actual anatomic humerus. So we'll put them there. We'll do the other one the same. And the reason I'm going down is because you also have to remember this thing is almost the size of an A2. So you can't go too far. And if you, did I say on there too, Rachel, if you have a question, make sure you put it in big bold so that I see it. So let's make sure we put the hand on the right side, or I could misattach them and pretend like it's a Frankenstein. Let's go with which way a hand should go. I love this hand. I thought about like draping the sentiment in between these hands. So like if you weren't doing a spinner card with this, if you were just making it, it would be really nice to use as like a little holder for this banner. See how he could hold it? But I also just liked him so much I wasn't about to cover him up with a banner. But I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, there's definitely a lot. Did the volume just go up? It did just go up, didn't it? Hang on. I think I can adjust that on my end. Let's see. Is that better? Is that better? It is going up a little higher. Hang on. Let me try it down. Does that seem any better? Just tell me yes, no. Is it better now, or do I need to try to go down just a little bit more? Oops. Okay, thanks. So I tried adjusting the main thing down. I don't know why. Like I said, today is definitely not my sound day. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and see how these. You really got to give that glitter cardstock a little while to dry. I'm going to give his head just a little bit longer, but look at our cute body. Oh my goodness. He's so cute. I'm going to go ahead and attach his body to his head. That way that can start drying. And it's hard. You want to use a really good glue because you only have these tiny attachment points. So I'm using kind of like a fancy cardstock, and that's a little bit slicker. So just make sure that you've got good pressure on everything because you really only have this teeny ball where all of this is connected. So you don't want to skimp on that, okay? Let's see. And that's why I'm going to keep holding him down. Let's fix his hat while we're holding him down. Let's add his little red stripe. Yeah, he's super cute. I love this skeleton. And for some reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason this skeleton just seemed like, I know he's got a little eyeglass that you can put on, but to me he just seemed like he was doing a Broadway show, like he was like, doing a Broadway show. So that's where this whole card's kind of going today because I thought he looked like he was doing a Broadway show. So I made his background kind of looks like he's on a stage. So if you ever wonder like what I'm thinking, I'm making up all kinds of stuff over here. I just think it's hilarious. Okay, let's go ahead and add this hat. So, and I'm going to add the hat with some double-sided adhesive because I want to make sure that it gets a good lock because it's going to be spinning around. You don't want it to fly off, okay? So let's put a little bit of double-sided adhesive here. We'll see how we do. Might be able to do one more. Probably too much. I don't want a chance doing too much either. Yeah, sorry about the volume. Yeah, I love them. All right, so tell me, when you make Halloween cards, what color schemes are your favorite? Like, are you usually doing orange? Are you doing purples? Are you doing neon greens? I'd love to hear what your thing is. Or do you do more traditional, do more like pumpkin type things with pink? Tell me what's the fave. Okay, so there's his hat. Let's do this. Let's add him some googly eyes. I'm just dropping stuff over here. He's so cute. I know. I know. Let me scroll those comments and just make sure. I know. Jazz hands. Exactly. Jazz hands. That's what they're called. Jazz hands. I guess I need to go this way. Okay, we got jazz hands. Here we are. So for our theater loving people, we got some jazz hands. Let me get these cute little eyeballs. Okay, so these are just, I think I just got these like at the dollar store. These are just tons and tons of googly eyes. So we're going to put googly eyes in the middle of that. And I just think it's so cute. Hang on. So we're going to go with, and I'm going to use this to press it down. So a lot of times with acrylic blocks, you know, people are using them to stamp. I think I use mine more to hold parts of my card down than anything else. So we got two eyes for him. Sorry, I keep wanting to make him a little too high there. Y'all tell me if he gets out of the picture. I see some orange and greens. And okay, all colors, depends on the card that I'm doing. Yeah, I think my favorite is that getting to use a lot of purples. Lots of purples. That eye does not want to stay. I'm going to probably have to add some adhesive to this eye. Okay, one googly eye. There's our googly eyes, and I'm going to hold them down with this. So I like to slide around on that. So I'm going to put some pressure with my thing here to try to let the glue seal. Okay, so now we have googly eyes. He cracks me up. Green and purple. Yeah, you'll see. I love green and purple with Frank. I think I love, I don't get to play with the greens and purples being that dark and bright as often. So I love it that. I think if you're a Distress Oxide user, I have a specific color that is my favorite to pull out when it's Halloween time. So tell me, if you use Distress Oxides, which of their colors is your favorite to pull out? Do you have a favorite? Because I definitely do. Okay, look at this guy. So he is looking cute. He still needs his little nose, which I think I'm going to have to see if I can punch out of here. He's got his little heart nose. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add just a smidge of double-sided adhesive right there to hold that nose in. Okay. I don't know if y'all ever do this, but it's like there's nothing to glue it to. So I'm going to make myself a little line. Oops. Just dropped something. Of double-sided adhesive. And that way I've got a spot. Uh-oh, his eyes moving. Those eyes need a little bit longer to dry. So, yeah. I see my favorite color. Okay, what is it? Let's see. Oh, hey, Patty's here. Patty, thank you. I got your package. I appreciate that so much. I will send you a little thank you note. Okay. Did I lose my cute little nose in that process? Oh, there he is. Glad I turned him over. That'd be hard to see on this black mat. Okay, so we're going to put our little upside down heart in here for his nose. There we go. Now, let's look at spinning, okay? He's so cute. Yes, so I see several people. My favorite color, let me hold it up, for Halloween cards that I don't pull out very often, but for Halloween cards, it's on almost everyone, is this. You'll see it? It's Twisted Citron. I guess I can hold it under here. Twisted Citron. I love that color. It's like a neon green. Okay, so let's get out our spinners, and I'm going to show you how this works, but we're not attaching the spinner yet. Oh, his little bow tie. Because this guy obviously needs just a smidge of pressure here. He's going to need a little bit of glue drying time. So we're going to get these out. They have two sides. One side's a little bit bigger than the other. Can you see that? And they're metal. So, oh, I got Twisted Citron on me there. They're metal. So it's little bitty things here. And I don't know if there's a preferred way to put it on the card, but it worked both ways for me. You could put the larger base on the card or the larger base on your piece. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. It seemed like it all stayed on for me. But like I said, if you are an expert spinner card maker, let me know. Okay, so with these, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set him on it, and you're going to notice he falls off immediately. Let me get him down lower. Okay, there's certain ways that he just won't stay on this thing and that he's not balanced. It needs to be balanced enough that he's all the way off the ground. I know that's a little hard to see, but you'll see if he's not balanced, he's not spinning or doing anything. If he's balanced, which takes a little bit of effort to get him where he's pretty, see this balance now, his feet are touching, which is why I said I might bring him back. But I like, he can have his feet touch, but we're about to put him on embossing folders. So we need to balance where those feet are off the ground just a little bit. There they go. They need some clearance. So now they have about 1 millimeter or 2 of clearance. Okay. And he spins. Yeah, Villainous Potion is a great one. Yes. So now he and his jazz hands can spin. So now, where it comes in, the problem is that we're going to put him on something that's raised up. So we got to give him some clearance, which is a lot of just moving him around to figure it out. The placement of these does take some time. So you will see I will be working on placements for sure. So now he's spinning with clearance, but I want to make his background with an embossing folder. So we're going to use this embossing folder because to me, this looks like he's on a stage. I cannot find this embossing folder on the Spellbinders site. It was a embossing folder from November 24. I don't know what it's called, and sometimes I'm not able to figure out things on their site, but this is just one of the few that I had, and I was trying to create something for Spellbinders. So this is the one that I have. It looks like a stage to me. You can use anything you want. Okay, so he's not glued to the spinner, and I would suggest do not glue him to the spinner until you are ready to put him on the card, because there's a few things you're going to have to account for. Let me set him over here so he can get a little bit more dry. Okay, I'm going to set the spinner right here. And we're going to use this. Now that we're back to embossing folders, do I need to back the camera up a little bit for you? I'm going to use this color cardstock, which is one of the cardstocks from Spellbinders. I'm going to add just a little bit of water on the back. Yeah, Patty. Patty's like, he really makes me smile. So what I said earlier today is that we're doing a giveaway, and that giveaway is going to, I'm just making sure it's kind of even. That giveaway is going to be the cards. So I'm going to send you, if you win the live stream giveaway, we're going to send you the Frank card that spins. If you win the replay giveaway, we're going to send you the skeleton card. Okay. So I'm going to put this through my die cutting machine. So just regular sandwich for Spellbinders. I may need to back that camera up just a little bit. So when I'm embossing, and I've had a couple people ask this, when I'm embossing using embossing folders, am I using my Anna Griffin? And the question or the answer is no, I'm not. I am not getting as good a results yet, and I think they recently made an embossing plate that I need to get, but right now it's a little bit harder. So I'm going to go through this and Get him through here. Try not to shake all the cameras, so I'm going slow. Oh, okay, there we go. Woo, okay. All righty. So here we go. Yes, it's a 3D embossing folder, which is going to present some problems with a spinner card, which is why we're doing it. Okay, so, ooh, look at that. That looks nice. But remember, I said he's got jazz hands and he needs to be on a stage. So we're going to add a little bit of ink blending around those edges because that just makes it look like a spotlight. So I'm going to use a little bit of this Catherine Pooler Glitz, and I'm going to go around the edges just a little. Let me get myself a mat here. Now my trusty rusty old one. Oh, that sounds cool. Spin wheels on those. If you're here and you're hanging out with us, make sure that you hit the like button underneath the video. That really helps people find this on replay, and I would appreciate that so much. All right, so we're just going to do a little along the edges. It just brings out that center, the beauty of the center, you know, like it just makes it look like he's on stage. So I'm just going to go around the edges. It also, you know, just ink blending over an embossing folder just gives it even more depth and detail, I feel like. So I love doing this because I feel like it just comes to life. So tell me, who are your favorite people to send Halloween cards to? Mine is usually my sister and my kids. One of my kids still lives at home, but this year, the one in college is definitely getting Halloween cards with some treats in there. Yeah, I love hearing what y'all are making spinner cards of. Has anybody bought the spinners but hasn't tried them yet? So I'm just making that center spotlight. You see how we got a spotlight? Okay, keeping it easy. Now here comes our problem with an embossing folder piece and a spinner. It's that it's got so many different areas that are raised on it. So when it has a lot of raised pieces like that, let me wipe off my mat because we're going to be doing a lot of ink blending today. Yeah, grandkids. Great. Yes, when I have grandkids, one of these days, they're going to get lots of Halloween. I need to send them to my nieces. That's what I need to do. That'd be fun. They'd like that. All right. So is that this is not flat, okay? It's got so much texture. It's got different parts that stick up, okay? So loves to do that. I don't know why it loves to do that. So it's got so many different parts that stick up like that. So it's kind of a challenge. So here's how I solved it. I'm going to cut a little platform for my spinner. I'm going to cut a circle, and it's going to be my platform that says flat. So let's cut that. It doesn't matter what you cut it out of. It's going to be hidden behind the card. I'm going to cut it out of yellow just because I have this extra yellow that I used for parts of the card. So let me cut that out. And then we're also going to make our background as flat as possible before we do this. The other thing I've had people ask is, can you mail a spinner card? Who has tried? Okay. So I'm making myself a platform. Okay. And before I make my platform to stay flat, I need to make sure my background stays flat. So let me show you a little trick on that too. I just don't want to lose this little circle. Okay. When I'm doing embossing folder backgrounds and I need them to be completely flat. Sorry, I'm reading your comments really quick. Oh no, you can't find them anywhere. That's okay. I use some double-sided foam adhesive to make this. See how this is flat like a board? This comes from scrapbook.com. I don't know if it's on my list today. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, good to know. People definitely mailed them. I'm going to be mailing them to y'all as prizes, so no worries. So I'm going to make sure to make the background as flat and level as possible. So I'm going to pick this up, and then I'm going to carefully apply my background to try to get it as flat and straight as I can. Okay, key elements. Yeah. Yeah, and if you want to enter the replay giveaway, just wait and come back for the replay if you have to leave. So here we have our spot that's going to be completely flat so that we can attach the spinner. Okay, so we've got that. Before you attach the spinning little guy, you want to have everything else on your card because you've got to make sure he's taller than this card. So we're going to need our boo to you. So let me grab a spare piece of that pretty cardstock. Let's see how much we need here. Oh, yeah, that actually works well. I don't even have to cut a second piece. So I'm going to put this behind it for my little symbol. I only need it to cover boo to you, so I can cut these edges off too. Okay, so now I can put those together. That's why you hang on to your scraps while you're making the card, because you never know, just a teeny little scrap like that works. Yes. Hi, everybody. So a couple things to tell you while I'm gluing on this, and then we're going to get the spinner attached to this card. We're doing spinners today. We have a live and a replay giveaway, and it is the cards that we're making today. So I'm going to send you the cards. I'm going to show you after we finish this one, putting it in an envelope, and we'll decide what y'all think. If you think that it would cost extra postage or not, I'm not sure. I think the height will make it have an extra one, but I think if we sent it as hand meter, I think we'd be okay. But I'll show you what I mean. People always ask that. Well, you can't mail spinner cards. Well, I think you can mail spinner cards. Okay, so I'm just putting 2 lines of double-sided adhesive on here. Taking this off. So I'll tell y'all what's coming up too, because I want to make sure that you know this. One, I have a event coming on Monday morning at 6 a.m. Please watch your emails from me. And Rachel, if you don't mind putting my email newsletter list in there, it's my first time being a speaker at a specific organization retreat, a very big one. It's free. And you can't register until tomorrow at 6 a.m. And it really matters if you use my link. Okay. So please, please, please be watching your email for me. And I want to see you at that event. It'll be fun. Whoops. Got that a little too high. I have to trim just a smidge. Right here. Okay. So if you like craft room organization, I'm really excited to get to do this. It's like a whole home organization, but I get to talk about craft rooms. Yeah, a padded envelope sounds like a good idea. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you, Becky, for letting me know that. I think you can do it with extra postage, but let's see. So, I also got this just a little bit too close to the edge. Let me trim that while I'm here. I hate little white pieces sticking out from my card. There we go. Okay. Now let's attach this right along the bottom. We want to keep it as flat as possible. So do not use foam tape. Just telling you, don't use foam tape. Use some type of like double-sided adhesive, something like that. That'll work. That one too thick. This one will work. And I have a new thing out too that if you've been looking for faster videos, I have an entire new playlist out of 15-minute cards. So make sure you don't miss that on my channel. It should be on the main page, but it's a whole playlist of 15-minute cards. I know think Eileen's out there. I know Eileen was watching them last night because she was commenting on all of them. And I was like, thank you so much for watching the playlist. I keep getting your comments, and I know you're watching. So, Eileen, thank you. Feel free to tell people, Eileen, if you're out there still, what your favorite was in that little quick 15-minute one. Okay, so I'm going to put it way down at the edge there. Okay. Now, we need him to clear this, and we need him to be spinning freely, okay? So that's going to take some effort. It's going to take effort on where we're going to put our dot and where we're going to put our spinner, okay? So I'm going to try to look approximately in the middle, but we're going to have to spin this guy to know. So it takes a lot of like thinking about how he's going to spin to get it right. So just no glue until, and I want this higher because I don't want his feet to cover up Boo to you. So he's going to be almost the full length of this A2 card. Look at that. He's barely got space up there, and down here he has just enough to put the sentiment. So he's a pretty long skeleton. Let's see how he does here if I've got him centered. Yeah. Thank you, Eileen. She said she loved him. Yeah, y'all check that out if you want quicker card making. All right. It's looking pretty good to me right there. Okay, so I'm going to carefully remove him, and then we'll back it back out. We're going to put our dot down here. I'm going to do that with some double-sided adhesive. And I'm going to use a pencil to remind me where that is. Okay, because it's going to be behind his head. So I'm going to kind of do a pencil just to let me know that's the top of the circle. I love it when the camera glitches, right? Okay, so you got your little circle, so you know where that is. Let's go ahead and add some double-sided adhesive. Probably going to go a thicker piece. I have so many different double-sided adhesives. Sorry, Thank you. All right, so here we go. So I was telling earlier too, don't know why, just loves to say hello to me every now and then. I was telling earlier too that I've got an organization summit coming. We have several, I have a couple more of the 15-minute tutorials coming. Some that are just slightly longer, but I've got a couple of like pre-recorded coming, and then we're going to be doing a lot of lives at the end of the month. All throughout, really. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here so it lines up. Okay, and we're going to start playing with where this skeleton needs to go. Then we'll attach each one separately, okay? So it's right about the middle of his head. Maybe slightly, maybe like right there is where that dot is, okay? So just see how he does. He's not quite right, so hang on. It's hard when you knock him off, too. He's still kind of falling off to the edge. So we'll take a little bit of effort here. Oops, I just knocked him over. Okay, that spot on his head feels right. I think that's going to be right between his nose. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it to him. Just make sure I'm right on my spinny. Okay. And you want to do this with glue because here's the deal. You may need to move this around a little bit. So put some decent amount of glue right here. Okay. Put it on the card and then move him as you need, but you got to work fast. Okay. We know it's about between his two eyes, but let's see. That looks good. Okay. Yeah, he's looking good. So now we need him to get attached to that spinner. So I'm going to hold a little bit of pressure. Give it a second to dry, and then we'll attach it to the card. Sorry, sometimes my comments aren't keeping up. Yes. Yes, you could do it either way. I like to go ahead and get him spinning, then I like to add my spinner to the back. So look at how cute he is. So let's see if that glue seems like it's doing okay. Yep. Then we can add glue back here. I'm doing it doesn't, on these, I don't think it matters as much, but on the little bitty ones, we'll try to do a little bit less glue just so we don't squeak it up and cause problems. And like I said, you still got a little bit of room to kind of move him around and see. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, here he is. Sorry, I'm moving him out of the thing. Okay, now he's there. Let's just double check one more time. Yep. Isn't he adorable? Oh my goodness. So I'm not gonna, he needs to dry. So I'm gonna let him dry. Just let him sit here and dry. And then I'll show you some more. But so he's got that little platform behind him and he has the spinner thing. So here we go. Okay, when he sits down. I like him to stay this way for pictures, but it doesn't really matter if he's in a card. Okay, we'll let him dry. And let's start working on our Frankenstein. So next we're going to do Frankenstein. Super cute. Okay, and I can already tell you that that one has a really fun ink blended background. So let's go ahead and get the background ready and dry, and then we'll put together our little guy. So I'm going to use a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock, just plain white, and we're going to create our colors with Distress Oxides and a little bit of masking. So I'm actually going to use this one since that one's still drying just a little bit. So we're going to get to use our fun Halloween colors. So that spinner was a large spinner. Okay. Make sure I have this as even as possible because I want to create my masking. So I'm going to use a little bit of, actually I'm going to use a little bit of mint tape. This is just a masking tape from scrapbook.com. And I think we're going to go, so when you look at your items, you want to make sure everything fits. So you want to check where you're going to take everything. So I'm going to put this guy on here, and I'm going to put one of these on here because I want to make sure that I get my greenery kind of right behind that. So I think I'm going to go right about here. Let me measure that in case y'all are wondering how much I did. I'll measure the first one. Just a little less than 2 inches. So I'm going to put my piece of tape right about here. And then we're going to make sure it's level with this T-ruler. Which sometimes is hard to do with a sticky mat. But just making sure we make a nice crisp line. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Now we're going to create our green. So for this green, I did mowed lawn and rustic wilderness. So I did mowed lawn and rustic wilderness, and that's because I wanted to save that neon green for Frank, for Frankenstein. And technically he's Frankenstein's monster, but whatever. I know people will say that in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I know. Okay, so we're going to start with mowed lawn. We'll go along this edge. I love blending with these because they blend so well. These are Distress Oxides, and they're just really fun for they're my favorite for Halloween craft making because you can make lots of just bright colors with them, and they just look nice and smooth. Where do I get my Bristol cardstock? I get my Bristol cardstock from Amazon. It's Strathmore, and it should be, if you go to my Amazon store, it should be on my Amazon store. So I'm just going to lay down a little bit of the lighter green, and then I'm going to come back in with Rustic Wilderness. And so I'm going to wipe this off just a little bit so I don't get some of the light green in it. I tend to just take a piece of paper and rub off some of that color, or a piece of paper towel. I think I got all of them. All right, if you could add movement to your cards, what way is your favorite way to add movement? And Catherine. Okay, Catherine, I like the oxides better. I just like, I kind of like that whitish that they have in the background. I don't know. You know how it's kind of like a more of a milkier color? I just like it. I think it could be either one, but I just like the color. I don't know why. Just one of those weird things. I just feel like I get great coverage and I don't want to see the white cardstock through. I don't know. I just like how they blend too. But you could use regular distress inks. That's perfectly fine. I'm just telling you what I tend to use because. So I'm trying to leave kind of like a little center spotlight, but I'm trying to get some darker around here. We're also going to use a little bit of black soot around this. Okay. So we got our nice darker color, and then we'll add just a little bit of black soot. Then we're going to work on that background. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so cute. Okay, I'm going to do this one for black soot. So I'm going to take my paper towel or my little squeegee and wipe up some of the green so I'm not bringing too much green into my black brush. Okay, and then we'll use our black brush. Yeah, Stellar Crafts, I kind of do too. I just feel like they're easier to blend. I don't know. I may have my dogs barking just a little bit. I hope that I've got my noise cancellation on good enough that y'all can't hear them. But if you hear them in the background, sorry. It's Saturday, and you know how it goes. You got people coming in and out of the house. So how are y'all liking the Saturday lives? Are you preferring Saturday lives versus Friday? I do a lot of lives on Friday at 3 p.m. and then I'm doing about half of them now on Saturday. Saturday is a little bit more. Usually I can go a little bit longer because just time wise, I've got a little bit more time on Saturday. But I'm kind of rearranging. So tell me like your absolute favorite time to watch a live because I would love to know that as I work on getting my fall schedule together. We've got some fun things coming this fall. Y'all been asking for interactive cards, and oh, thanks, Marcy. You've been asking for interactive cards, and we've got a plan with Pear Blossom Press to do some light up cards too. We've got these spinner cards, we got light up cards. I've got another fun fold coming soon. That's going to be one of those quick 15-minute tutorials. Use just a little bit right through there. Okay, so there's our bottom part. Now we're going to mask so that we can I'm going to do just a little bit more black right here as it meets this. Okay. All righty. Yeah, I feel like distress oxides. Look at this. Oh, look at that crystalline. Oh my goodness. Okay, good to know. Wobbles are fun. I might need to try. So this is a bigger of that masking tape, and I'm going to cover this up because we're going to do a little bit of splatter on the top side. So I'm going to cover up my line a little easier now because the line is already kind of there. So that helps. And we're going to start with some blues and purples. I'm going to start mine with Chipped Sapphire. And then we're going to go up through Wilted Violet and Villainous Potion. So here's what we got. That's how I'm gonna roll. So let me get some different ink blending brushes. And of course, we're gonna have to put some fun sparkle on it too. So I have been playing with this sparkle. I don't know if y'all seen this before. It's spray stain and brushed pewter. So I'm going to show you how this looks on it. It looks really interesting. Okay. Yeah, and I know people like different lengths of lives and all that. I will tell you, it is very hard to control the length of a live because it's hard to know how long it's going to take you to create cards live. Because when you're creating them live yourself, you're usually, I think it probably takes me twice as long to decide what I'm doing. And so it's a really hard thing when people are like, well, I want the live to be this long. It's hard for me to do that and be sure it's either too short, too long. So just bear with us. We're doing the best we can, but these cards probably took me 4 to 6 hours to make my plan, get them ready, get them completely working. And then now I'm kind of doing a review and coming into it and doing it again. And so when I'm doing it again, I already know what colors I'm going to use. And so the time is different. And I haven't quite gotten my timing down to know exactly what that is. So I'm going to go with like some dark blue right through here. This is chip sapphire. Oh, good. Good to know. Yeah, I love this. So I was kind of thinking like a spooky night. And I'm going to do about a third. We'll go here. And I think I did a little wilted violet, but I think I'm going to start with villainous and then we'll decide if we want to put some wilted violet in there. So I think I also like just how dark you can get a distress oxide. You can get it really dark. Nice. So of course you could do this on any type of background. I just thought it'd be fun to play with this because I just love distress oxide for Halloween. So we got our blue going. Let's do just a little bit of wilted, kind of in the middle. Take it and just go. So I'm going to do wilted kind of like right through here. And then we'll blend some villainous potion over that. Okay, so I'm just going to make like a little thing here. And then I'm going to come around it with villainous and cover it up a little bit just so that it's a nice dark purple. So I like brushes better, Marcy. I am a brush person though. The foam things really put down a lot of ink, but they're very hard on my hands. And so these to me are less painful to use. So I tend to use these way more than I use the foam pads, but it's just personal preference. You do get a lot of ink down with the foam pads. So we're going to kind of come in and blend this all together. Lots of purple. I love purple on cards. I love purple and green together. Ooh, that looks so good. So we're going to add some purple. Yeah, lots of people use foam for their oxides. Does it not? So I have a little bit of problems with like my thumbs and some of my joints in my hands hurting. And I just find holding something like this can be a little bit harder. I need to hold it more like these or my other ones that I can kind of hold like this. I feel like I don't have to put as much pressure, and that's just probably personal preference. So y'all use dome ones if you want. I don't know where that little guy came from. It's like sometimes there's like on your paper, there's just a little bit of something there. I don't know what that is. Might have just been a little piece of lint. Not sure. We'll just try to get over it. That's probably where Frank will be anyway. Yeah, I get a lot of those as well. She's saying she gets like a lot of circles with the domes. Yeah, I'm just not as good at them. I don't know. That's probably just my preference. Maybe it's just what my hands are able to do. So we got that little center part. Don't worry. Here we go. We're going to add a little bit of black to this, and then we're going to add some splatter on it. So I'm going to keep it like that. I know this must be like a little defect in the paper. I don't know what that is. But that doesn't matter because Frank will take care of it. Frank's got her back. Oh, goodness. I'm cracking myself up again, guys. Sorry. All right, let me wipe some of this purple off. Okay. Just so that I don't get a ton of purple in my black. And then I'm going to use a dry one of these to kind of make sure. Still just a little purple up there. And I'm just going to add a little black around those edges. And then we're going to use this amazing, this is really interesting. It looks real white in the pictures, but it is nice and shiny. So I'm going to use it for two things. We're going to use it for those little screws that come out of Frankenstein's head. And we're going to use it for this. So look at that. This is called Distress Spray Stain Brushed Pewter. Okay, so I'll show you what that ends up looking like. Let's add just a little bit of black soot. Make sure that's dry. Because black soot just, especially on Halloween cards, it just makes everything look more amazing. I just love it. And if all else fails, your Distress Oxide, and you have a big blurb like this, then add some splatter. That's the other thing that's so nice about these. Add some splatter. You can always come in with splatter. Alrighty. And today we are doing spinner cards. If you're just joining us, I've got a big organization summit coming out on Monday at 6 a.m. in email. So if you're not on my email, Rachel, do you mind popping up my email newsletter info so that they can get on there if they want to get signed up? It's a free class. And it's actually like 100 free classes because it's like whole home organization, but I'm doing part of the crafty part of it. I'm doing the craft room and my favorite products for the craft room. So, ooh, that looks good. Look how spooky that looks. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to leave this covered up because I only want the stars or this pretty silver in the background of that purple. So let me get these out of the way. I'll need those again in a minute. Here we go. We're going to add some splatter, and y'all are going to be so excited. Okay, so this definitely needs to be shaken up. Thank you. Hi from Oregon. Thank you. I'm glad you like my ink blending. Even with my blurb, it doesn't matter because Frank will be there. No big deal. Now, one thing I did do with this that I thought made it a little bit easier, since you don't have much control over the spray, I'm going to use it like splatter. So I'm going to put some of this on here, and we're going to put it on a paintbrush. So you can spray it like that if you want to, like if you're like, oh, I'll get a little spray out. But it just, so I'll carefully spray. Very silvery, look at that. And I'm not even going to put any water on my paintbrush. I'm just going to splatter. This is my favorite splatter brush. I'm just going to fill it up with silver. Thank you, Rachel, for putting that in for me. Hey, Rachel, will you text me how many people are viewing or keep up with that number for me? I can't see it because I don't have on my other screen. Okay, here we go. Ready for the splatter? Let's go. Some bigger ones, some smaller ones. Add as much splatter as you want. Okay. That looks nice. Okay, so I will hold that up to you, and we're going to do a big reveal. My husband brought me a sweet tea, so hang on. Oh, yeah, how is everybody's weather? I see Marcy telling people about their weather. Tell me how your weather is. I'll spray off my spray brush here. to rinse this guy later. The color of this splatter is brushed pewter. And it basically gives you kind of like a silvery finish. I'm going to do the reveal here. And I could do it even thicker. Like I could do bigger splatters, but here's our reveal. Oh my goodness. Portland, Oregon, your heat just kicked on? Yeah, look at this. So I'm going slow just so I don't mess up the paper. But here's all our splatters. I'll hold them up for you. Just going really slow with this mint tape. I do love this big wide tape because it can be a nice blocker and it holds good and completely. So we've got our stars up here in the sky with our splatter. Let me lift it up for you. Look at this in different lights. Oh, man. Yes, brushed pewter. I'm sorry, Rachel, did I not put that on the supply list? I'm so sorry. Okay, so look at how beautiful that is. It's just so nice. I am going to do one piece of white with that because we're going to use it. I'm going to try to use it for my the little screws on his head. So we'll let this dry. We'll let our beautiful, and you see how it like catches the silvery light. It may not look as silvery here, but it catches the light and looks really nice. So we'll let that guy dry. I'm going to wipe this off really quick because you know how it goes. I'm going to get a mess. And then we are going to spray just a little bit. And see, it's got a nice gray to it. But it looks really good. So let's just spray a plain white piece of paper. It doesn't even have to be a big piece of paper with this. I'm going to put a piece of, and this is just so I can make the little, I can make my little screws that go in his head out of this. So I don't have to use any metallic cardstock. Ooh, look at that on my hands now, though. Oh, nice. Looks like we're finally getting where I think it's going to be like fall, which is crazy. It's been so hot for so long. So I'm going to dry this just a little bit with this. Tell me if you got any questions. Just makes a nice silver cardstock. So you can see that like where it's got more pigment, it actually, see that more pigment right there? I might have burned it just a little bit, but it's going to look nice as his little ears. Hi. So glad to have everybody. So I'm going to let this sit aside to dry too. And let's start working on our Frank. So far, if you're just joining us, we have made our skeleton card. So make sure you catch that on replay. And we are starting to work on Frankenstein's monster. His name is Frank. We're just going to call him Frank. How about that? And we're going to use 3 different spinners on this card. We're going to spin him. We're going to spin these. So we got some die cutting and some coloring to do to get this guy ready. So let's get some more die cutting done so that we're there. This guy's got a decent amount of pieces. I don't know where that water came from. Let me get another paper towel. Ooh, triple digits. Goodness gracious. Okay. So here we go. We are going to do Frankenstein. And we're going to cut him mostly out of white cardstock. So he's going to need a little bit of black, but white mainly. And it's going to be so worth it. He's so cute. Okay, so we want Frankenstein's head, so we can color it green. We want our tombstones, and we got to do a few tombstones, so we need to go ahead and get those cut out too. Tombstones. We have to have a few of these, so you may as well go ahead and layer them up while you can. This is the center of the tombstone. Little line that goes with the tombstone. Alrighty. And then we need parts of Frankenstein's body. So we'll just see how much stuff we can fit on here. He's got the cutest little jacket. I made his jacket purple. Okay, and his hands. Then we'll do a little bit more ink blending. The ink blending on him is pretty fast. Got his little hands. Got his, this is like the collar of his jacket. Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I can't see that stuff this time, so I was curious. So let's make sure they all hit like. So do you usually, tell me, are you, let's go, like number one will be, are you team ink blended panels? Or number two, are you team patterned paper? So are you a one with ink blended panels or two patterned paper? Tell me that in the comments. All right, tell me, which team are you? Team ink blended, team patterned paper? Look at that cute tombstone. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tombstone. Sorry, sometimes these things are hard to pick up. So we do need tombstone again because we're going to need 3 of those. Everything else we're pretty much done with. So let me get all those in there. So this part is also tombstone. And then we got Frank's head. Look at Frank's head. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. So cute. Okay, he's got his arms, his legs, his collar. We're good. Put all these pieces in there, and then we'll do our tombstones. And then we can get them all colored and put together and try to figure out how we get them spinning. So we still need some tombstones, and we need his black hair and black eyes, that kind of stuff. So let's get another piece of white. Do some more tombstones. Okay, so I see a number 1. I'll have Rachel be paying attention to that. Okay, we got all our tombstone stuff right there for one of those. And then we need a spider for one of ours, and then we need a couple of skeletons. So we're going to do some black cardstock to do Frankenstein's hair and his spider. We're just going to take a little bit of black, and we need to do the backs of the skeletons. So it's not very much, but we'll get those done. Okay, I see a lot of 1. I love some ink blending. I really do love it. Put his eyes right there. And the backs of our skeleton. The backs of our skeleton looks like this, okay? So we're going to do all these. And then we'll do just a little bit of glitter cardstock because that's super fun. And we'll start doing some ink blending. So if you're shopping today, make sure you use the links that Rachel is putting in there. That really helps me out. And I also just love to know from y'all, are you new to Spellbinders? Have you used Spellbinders before? They're a pretty big company in the industry, so I'm guessing most of you have, but are you new or have you used them before? Okay, number 1 is the top answer. Good. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna cut out a couple more of these and we'll start ink blending. Let's go ahead. Let me think about a question for our live stream giveaway. And I told earlier, and I know there's more people here now, but our replay winner from last time was D Green 4843, and I haven't heard back from her, so we may be giving that prize away again. Today we're going to give away the cards that I'm making as the prize. Sorry, some of these have little bitty parts. That's the way Spellbinders is. They have lots of like really intricate dies, but man, they look good. They look so good. So if you're a die cut fan, you definitely should check some of their stuff out. Okay, we're done with this hair. We do need to do the eyeballs again, and we need to do another skeleton. And we need to do one more. Let's do our silver and see how that goes. And create our little silver screws out of this one. Okay. And we need to do another tombstone. Yay. So the tombstones, I'm going to create spinner elements with the tombstones. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Alert, alert. Giveaway coming soon. Okay, let's get these cut out and let me ponder on that question. Okay, here's my giveaway question. It's going to be, have you ever tried to make an interactive card? It doesn't have to be a spinner card, but have you ever tried to make an interactive card? Yes or no? So comment yes or no to enter the live stream giveaway, and Rachel will be watching those answers so that we can figure all that out and get you a card if you want one. So I put all these little bits on a magnet over here because you can easily lose these things. So just be careful. Okay, let's see how our silver little parts, ooh, those look pretty good. Probably not 100% dry, but they look cute. There we go. See our silver bits right there? Those look nice. Okay, and our last of these. So let's start with ink blending Frank. Let's put him together, and then we'll ink blend our tombstones. Actually, let's do our tombstones first because they're a lighter color. And if I use the same mat, sometimes that's easier. So let's do the tombstones. They're pretty quick. So 3 tombstones. Yep, I think we got it all. Okay, die cutting, I think, is complete. Let's look at all these parts. Let's get out our ink blending thing, and I'm going to do all the tombstones first. These are pretty fast and easy. I started with pumice stone. So I'm going to do here. And then I did come in with some black soot around these, but first everything needs pumice stone. And we'll put them all together. And they have these little, I mean, there's just so many details to them. So just fun details. As somebody said up there, fiddly bits. So we have lots of answers of yes and no. Keep answering yes and no if you want to enter the live stream giveaway. You'll get, what is it? Live stream gets Frank? Does it get this card? That's what we decided. Okay, we got all of our little tombstone parts. Let's look at doing this with some pumice stone. Okay, we're going to come in with pumice stone, which is this color. Looks like a good tombstone to me. I don't know if I know what rip cards are. Somebody said they do rip cards. Is that where you like pull a string and it comes down? You're going to have to tell me a little bit more about that one. So like I said, super fast ink blending. Nothing too special here. Just going to do this and then add a little bit of color with some black soot. Okay. So quick pumice stone. Now, let's let those dry just a second. Then we're going to add, with a smaller brush, I'm going to add some black soot to give them some detail. You could also do hickory smoke if you wanted, but I thought black soot looked fine. So I did keep one of them. I'll do one of them a little bit lighter than the others. It just kind of looks like it's got a spotlight on it. And since this is kind of a whitish color and I'm going to use black, I'm going to wipe some of it off my mat. Doesn't have to be all of it, but it just helps. Or you can just move it might actually be easier just to move my pieces to a different mat. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, cool. Okay, so rib cards have a zipper-like pull. Okay, interesting. So if you think about it and you see me out on social media, like tag me in something. I don't know what company makes those. Tag me or tell me where to look for them. And tell me too, like, what is the next one that y'all want to use? Like, what do you want me to demo? I'm doing light up cards soon. We may do some like little tracks that spin with that. I'm definitely going to do a light up card that you can blow out. Like it looks like you're blowing out the candle. Cannot wait on that one. So we're going to play with lots of fun with that because Pear Blossom Press was generous enough to send me some stuff to try out. So we'll definitely have a live stream on that. Who do we have as our winner? Yeah, if you're shopping scrapbook.com, definitely use my link. Also, Spellbinders that we're doing these products from, they're having a 40% off some like a die section. So it may be worth looking at their site as well. Just even though the spinners are out of stock right now, it might be worth looking at their site. So I'm going to do one of these with just hickory smoke, or not pumice stone, sorry, hickory smoke around it. And then the other ones I'm going to do with black soot. And that's so that this one is like a focal point. It looks like light is on it. So it just makes it just not quite as dark as the others. Okay, so I'm going to go around a little hickory smoke. Just something I thought looked cute. You don't have to do it this way. Sorry, seeing new comments. Thank you. I'm glad to have you. Late, not late, it doesn't matter. You can always watch the replay. So we are making tombstones right now, and then we're going to make Frank. Adding a little bit of hickory smoke to this one. This one's going to be the brighter of them because it's just got just a little bit of that on there. Might still add, but the rest of them we're going to go in with straight up black. I'm going to add some hickory smoke to these little steps. Just trying to give it some color variation. So got a little darker there. Okay, now let's go in with our black soot. And our little bitty brush. Okay, let me move this down a little bit so y'all can see. So this just kind of makes it show up. Just adding a little bit of darkness here. And it's made to look kind of distressed and cracked, which that black soot kind of picks up, which looks cool. And you don't have to be super neat with it. This is just the center of the stone, making it just a little bit darker so that our beautiful colors will show up on it, because we're going to make this cute little skeleton. We're going to make a little spider. Yeah. Nice. So it was Sissy that won. Did Sissy win the the card. So Sissy, I hope you're in the US because this is going to be a big card. So Sissy, tell me that you're in the US so that if not, I might change what the prize is so that I can get it to you. Okay. Alrighty. So we got all these parts done. Now, let's go ahead and glue these together so that we can have that part taken care of, and we'll work on those little spinners. They're so fun. We'll spin up some on our little tombstones. We're going to use those teeny tiny spinners, the little small ones, and we're going to spin the two that have the skeleton. Sorry, hard for me to think sometimes. Oh, good. You're in Texas. Yay. Okay, Sissy. So I will definitely send that to you. Make sure that you email me so that I've got your address. Okay. My email is NickiHeartsCards at I don't know if Aya is going to pick that up. I hate to say it out loud and have 500 spams, but it's NickiHeartsCards at, and you can find it on my YouTube channel. It's a regular place, but anyway, or maybe Rachel can drop that in the chat. I don't know if that will also cause AI to start sending me random spam. Um, Anybody that knows the answer to that, tell me. Okay, let's put these together and then we can start making them spin. So this is just the center of it. So it goes right here in the middle. Very easy. Y'all, I'll say big thanks to Rachel again, too. Rachel is so helpful to me. I'm so glad she's here so she can put things in that chat, especially on days like today where it's just, the sound's going wrong. I'm doing so many things behind the scene and it's only me. So it's so helpful to have her help. So please tell her thank you for all that help. It really makes our live streams just so much better. Okay. Put these little things on here and then we'll put our little cute things. We're going to make our little spinny parts. Now, I will say the smaller the spinner to me, and y'all tell me if you've noticed anything different, but the smaller the spinner to me, the less around, like it's like less centrifugal force. So it doesn't spin as fast because it's not quite as heavy. Yeah. Okay. I think she just said, what was the splatter that we used? Let me grab that for you. The splatter is, let's just lay it right here while I'm working. Spray stain brushed pewter. I had never seen this until, oops, did I lose one piece? Anybody see where the other little piece of the thing went? Okay, well, for demonstration purposes, we're not going to worry about it. Sorry, sometimes my comments go way up here, and I'm trying to see if any of y'all saw where that went. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, y'all make sure you use my links. This is going to make a difference today, especially if you're shopping from Spellbinders. Little hint that how many times you get clicks from them is how likely you are to get product to use again. So if you're clicking buying anything from Spellbinders and you're here, please use my link if you want me to keep doing any Spellbinders. Okay, just FYI. Okay, so I don't know where that other little piece went. I'm going to look around my desk. It's not stuck to me. We're not going to worry about it. We'll just put that as our center one and just pretend it was like that. Okay, so we're going to add these little skeleton pieces and then we're going to try to spin them, which is, so we got the black back of the skeleton. We've got a little I'm just going to go ahead and put this one on because this one's not going to spin. I didn't make all 3 of them spin because I thought that might be a little bit too crazy. But I wanted to show you all the different size spinners and what they do. So we'll give him that. Then we need to cut out 2 skeleton heads, which I haven't cut out of. I need to cut these out of glitter just because if they're going to spin, why not make them glitter, you know? Hey, I don't know who that was. It may show up. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to cut, so we use this sparkle and we're going to cut 2 of these. And then we are going to use these teeny tiny. These are a little hard to work with, I'm going to say. They're teeny, but I'll show you how I did it. Let me just cut out 2 skeleton skulls because glitter is fun. Yeah, lost tiny pieces, yeah. It is the hazard of it. You know what? I may not have even done it. I think I see it in the bin. I think I see that piece in the bin. But do you even notice? Like, you don't notice, do you, right? It's probably fine. Sorry, whoever's getting Frank card. I think that's Sissy. Sissy, do you want me to try to track it down? I think I see one. I'll try to fix it before I send it to you in the mail. How about that? And our replay winner is winning the skeleton card. So if you are here and you want to head back at some point and comment on the replay, there will be a question for the replay. Okay, so if you go, okay, so Eileen says, question, would it count if we go to Spellbinders another way, but add your code? That, I don't think so. So I think that you have to click my link to be able to have it count. So like, even if you're in Spellbinders and you haven't checked out, if you go and you click my link and go back to your cart, that should count. Yeah, Eileen, I think that's what I mean. So Eileen, if you've already got a cart open and you didn't use my link, but you want to, just go to my link, click on it, open a new tab, and go to your cart in that new tab, and that should work. But yeah, that's Spellbinders is one of those that it really makes a difference if you use my link, if you want me to keep using them, because they definitely are paying attention to numbers, and if you want me to be demoing them again, then we need to make sure we're clicking on their links. Doesn't mean you have to buy anything. It just means at least show them I'm getting traffic there. Okay, because that's how crafting companies, that's how it works. All right, so we've got our little skeletons. Look at these sparkly guys. Oh my goodness. Just going to glue him on to the back piece, and then we're going to play with these teeny tiny spinners. They are so small, you all will see. I'm going to have to hold them with tweezers. But for little bitty elements like this, oh my goodness. How cute is it going to be? So what do y'all think? Here, I'm going to get y'all's opinion. So these spinners are small. What are your opinions on, like, what age should you send these to? Like, I have a niece who's like 3. She's right around 3. But it is a choking hazard. Should I just tell her parents and still send it to her, or do I just wait till she gets a little bit older? What do y'all think on things like this? I don't want her to tear it apart and it be a problem because it is a piece of metal. Y'all tell me your thought process. Look at those cute skeletons. Okay, I'm going to press them, make sure they're good and flat. Yeah, it's more about the clicks than anything. Thanks. Thanks. Rachel's got my back out there. She's helping me out. If you want to see me do more, then you have to help me show that I'm worth it to these companies, All right, so make sure those are good and dry. I'm going to hold pressure on these little sparklies. Let's see if we got some more questions for y'all. Tell me if you're crafting while you watch or you're just hanging out with us. Are you crafting at the same time? Okay, teeny tiny spinners. Now, since this little guy doesn't really have to go many places, you still need to balance him, but it's not quite as hard because it's mainly like the bulk of his head. So let me try to show you. It's hard to show you that they're spinning because they're so tiny. So I would say the smaller ones are more of a guessing game. Okay, as to where they're weighted. That's why we're going to use glue. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue it to my card because I know that, and don't do too much glue, just enough. That one's got a little fuzz on it. Because you don't want the glue to cake up the spinning mechanism, okay? So I'm going to try to carefully lay this guy down. Putting him kind of in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other one too. And then we'll add our little heads. And like I said, things that aren't heavy don't do as much spinning. So these aren't very heavy, so you're going to have to probably spin them with your hands. Whoops. Moved that one. Okay, so I've got 2 spinners and my thing here. And these things, like I said, are tiny. These are the small ones. So small. They're about, I'd say they're about 1/4 of an inch or less, maybe even less. Oh, Christmas cards, yay! And Thanksgiving table favors. That sounds fun, Linda. Thank you, Susan. Oh, Vicki, I've got a new class coming out on organizing your craft room. So make sure you check your email from me if you're on my email list on Monday morning. Please sign up with my link. Once again, how links work. If you want me to be invited to conferences and things, then you do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny dot on here because you don't want it to get so much that it goos up the mechanism. So a tiny dot. And I'm going to put my little skeleton on here and we'll play with him a little bit and see what we think. Okay. He seems like he spins pretty good that way. So I'm going to leave him there. Like I said, more of a guessing game when you've got the smaller ones. We're going to let him dry. I'm trying to put this like right about the center of his head. Yeah, he seems like he's going to spin. So now we got these 2. Let's let them dry, but look how cute they are. So cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, they're so small, they're hard to hold on to. I'm going to tell you, the little ones can make a huge impact, but just you need to use some tweezers or something. My hands can't even hold on to them and get them in the right place. Okay, so we got our 3 tombstones. How cute. We need to let these guys dry. Let's see how Sir Skeleton's doing over here because he's dry now. Okay, here he is. He's dry. While I get our pieces ready for the next thing. Isn't he cute? Oh my goodness. So he's the replay giveaway. I'm going to crack myself up again. Okay, don't y'all think that the jazz hands, he's just performing on a stage to me. He's performing, his performance is called Boo to You. Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway, he's the replay giveaway. Let's make ourselves the most adorable little guy here. I'm going to punch out his eyes and eyebrows because we'll make those black. We're going to do him. So the only things that are green are him. Sorry, I'm missing one. His hands. Okay. And he has this collar. Hang on. I needed this. Just a teeny section below his shirt. So let me cut that out. I knew I'd miss at least one. But while we're... Isn't that great? I think it's so cute. It's really, I just know the kids are going to love it. They're going to love it so much. My teenager is going to love it. Let's not joke here. So do y'all usually save your die cut scraps or do you toss them? Like, would you save this piece? I'm curious on what y'all like to do with yours. So we're going to do fast ink blending on this guy. I already told you, got to use my favorite color. Except where did I sit my favorite color? Oh, here he is. So we're going to start with Twisted Citron. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of Rustic Wilderness, but we're not going to go crazy. So let me do my Twisted Citron. in case I got anything else on him. Thank you, Nancy. He is cute. So I'm just going to go along. This one, it doesn't even have to be the whole thing because you're only going to see the top. That's just where his shirt comes up. Okay, so we got our good twisted citron so fast. Okay, now let's add a little bit of that rustic wilderness. Well, let's go mowed lawn first. Let's see what we think. So we got a little bit of bright color. Then I'm going to add some mowed lawn. Yeah. I save it while I'm working on it. If that piece was still left over, I might put it in a bin, but if I don't use it in the first few times I've been crafting after it, I tend to toss it because I just get too many other scraps. Okay, let's do a little bit this. So bringing in some more green, just so that the brightness is kind of underneath that green. Okay. So just leaving the center of his face extra bright. Give his arms a little bit of darkness. Kind of like the mixture of the two. And probably a little bit right there. All right, if you want to go even darker, you can. We're going to stop here and we're going to make some more. I'm going to set these aside and then we're going to make his clothes. This guy aside, look at that cute little impression. Oh man, he's so cute. Okay, so we got his head. We got here, here, here. Just wiping off so that I don't get green on my purple. So let's do his little purple jacket and his shirt. Okay, his shirt I'm going to keep as pumice stone. I'm going to make that one super easy. And then all we got of his jacket are his sleeves right here. We're going to do these with wilted violet, and then we're going to come in with villainous potion, okay? Quick and easy. Super easy. So do y'all prefer when you're cutting these die pieces out, do you prefer to ink blend your die pieces, or do you prefer to use your die pieces more like in a colored cardstock? So colored cardstock or blend? Tell me that. Yes, Spellbinders does have lots of tiny pieces. Okay, so let's do wilted violet to start. Not being real careful with it because I know I'm going to bring in some other colors for it too. Okay, so just kind of getting color down. This little shirt right here, I need to move him down, is pumice stone. So I'm going to do that really quick. Where is my pumice stone? Super quick. And then I'll bring in a little bit of gray on him, which I probably already have on this. So I'm just going to bring in a little bit of gray along the bottom. You're not going to see most of that, just kind of the bottom. I do a lot of looking at the die to try to decide which parts are actually going to be seen so that I don't do too much ink blending. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I do. I kind of plan it out. All right, so now we're just going to do teeny tiny. Probably should get a smaller brush, but I'm going to make the collars really dark purple. And then we're just going to kind of go around the edges of the others just to give them a little bit of excitement. All righty. There we go. Now we can start putting him together. So we're going to put his shirt on, which is right here, and then we'll put his jacket on. Okay, colored cardstock, both, yeah. I like blending it just because you can make everything mix, but and also because sometimes when I'm going through my paper, I'm like, I'd have to take out so many pieces of paper to do this. Um, so sometimes I do the ink blending because it's just easier to grab my ink blending tools. So he's got a little white collar right here that I just left completely white. Yeah. This is where like scraps of colored cardstock are nice though, because you can go in and be like, oh, I need this. I just kind of like them to all, I don't know. So I did use a little bit of foam tape on the jacket because you got this collar piece that's kind of sticking up. So I'm going to use like a millimeter foam tape. But first I'm going to go ahead and put on the lapels. And then we'll foam tape this up. So the thing with Frank's card is he's got 3 spinners on there. So you got to kind of be careful about where those spinners go and how you're going to create the movement without them running into each other. So I'll show you all that. Let's use our teeny tiny, ounce 1/8. Let's use our 1/16 thickness because I don't need much here. I just need like a teeny little bit to pop it above that. So just a little bit here. And we're going to put it right on this edge. Okay. Hi, Brian. That's a good question. Do you want me to glue 2 spinners together to see what happens? It's definitely going to make your card really tall. I think they would probably spin in different directions. I'm not sure if you would accomplish much. I think you'd probably do better if you wanted it to be taller to put a piece of foam tape on it. Is that what you're saying? Make it taller or just make it spin more? Sorry, I've seen that question there from her. Do y'all have any tricks for removing the backing of foam tape? I think I need to come up with some kind of machine that does that. Like here's the backing. Okay. Now he just needs his sleeves, which I'm going to glue on the back. Then we can get his little head taken care of. He's so much cuter with the head, but I do like this little outfit. So we got one here. Okay. All right, let's put him together. Whew, a weeding tool, good idea. I don't know if 2 of them would spin more together. Let's put 2 on top of each other and see. I was asking if you put 2 on top of each other, would it spin more or less? Let me just see. It's very tall, I can tell you that much. I think only the top one is really spinning. So I don't think there would be any need to put 2 of them together. I would probably put foam tape under one of them and go with that. Okay, let's put his arms in here. So he's not quite doing jazz hands. He's more like, hey, I'm here. We were talking about the skeleton doing jazz hands. I think Frank's just excited to be alive. He's like, look, I'm alive. Okay. I'm giving him personalities. Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if I could roll that, Eileen. That'd be interesting. Okay. So we got him. Let's get his final details on so that he needs his hair. Gotta have his hair. Just let's put his hair on, his ears, and his little. Okay, there's his hair. Other little teeny things like dots for his eyes. All these things make such cute details, though. I know it's like it can be a lot to do, but it is really going to be cute. So we're doing white as the back, and then they have these little cutouts that are black, so it makes it look like they have a little pupil or a little sparkle in their eye. You could also just use those googly eyes again if you wanted to. I'm going to use these that have the little hole in them so you can see the white behind them. Gotta see what's going on in the chats. Yes. Where do we want his hole in his eye to be? I think we're going to have him like looking this way. Here we go. So tell me what kind of weekend plans you got this weekend. Is everybody getting a little crafting done today? Okay, let's go ahead and put on our little silver things that go on his ears. We got our silver things that we made. How cute are those? Remember that for the replay, we're going to give away the skeleton card. So make sure you enter on the replay as well. Really helps if you're on my email newsletter so that you know how to get in touch with me if you're a winner. The announcement for the winner of the replay will be on in 7 days from today. You can find it in the pinned comment. It'll also reply to your comment on YouTube, so just check your YouTube comments. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer, but I'm glad you're decompressing. So I'm hoping to soon have a class of my own that has a kit and all kinds of fun stuff. Got lots of classes coming up over the fall for sure. With this guy, so he's got these teeny tiny little, let me show you. He's got this one die cut. Look how little that is. That's teeth and a tongue. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick little cut of those and make those teeth and a tongue just because, why not? This is when we need our scrap piece. And Sissy wants her card to be looking good. So I'm also going to show you how these fit in an actual envelope so that you can see and we can come up with the best way to mail them. Did y'all ever answer my question on what you think about like sending this to a toddler? I think that's okay. Just tell the parents that it's got little metal pieces in it. I'm sure they don't let their toddler hold on to a card, but it'd be kind of cute and fun. All right, so we got a tongue and some teeth. And then he's about to be done. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to just take, since his mouth and his eyebrows are like this, I'm going to grab a black marker and just make those black. That means I got to walk over here real quick, because I'm not going to recut those out. There's no need to cut them out again. Oh, nice. Taking your son out to dinner. Awesome. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, Linda, and tell the parents. Yes, good plan. Thank you. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and glue his head to this. So it's got a little spot right here to glue the head. And this guy's got kind of a big head, so balancing him will be a little bit of a challenge. Then I'm going, oops, helps if I hold that on there, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go to the back. And I'm going to use that same trick that I did before where I used a piece of double-sided adhesive. That's what I'm going to attach his mouth and eyebrows to. So I'm going to take a little piece of adhesive, and it'll also help hold that piece as well. Okay. Probably didn't need that big of adhesive, but that way we can stick them through the hole. So just little tips along the way. So now he's got a mouth, eyebrows, a little tongue. We got all this. This will be easy compared to what we've already done, right? I can't find my pen for my glue. All right, so if you're coloring with alcohol markers, you probably want to protect your surface. So I'm going to use this little sticky mat and color them. It won't take long, but I'm going to put them on here, and I'm going to color the tongue too. So we'll go to this. We'll do some eyebrows. It would have been good just to cut his face out of black as well, but yeah, no. This also works. Just a quick. Now we got black eyebrows. Super easy. No coloring skills needed. Now the tongue is right here, and I actually brought myself a little pink marker to color that tongue so I didn't have to cut it out of cardstock. Okay, there we go. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You and me. Okay, I'm going to glue his teeth. And his teeth look like they're made to kind of go underneath this right here. So I'm going to, I did this last time. I made the same mistake last time. You'd think I would remember that. Thank you, Simon. We appreciate it. We are playing with spinner cards, and this one has like a triple spinner. If Simon's here, let me just show him because he needs to see. I did tag him, but this is what we're making. And we got spinning, spinning. So we're having fun with Frank here. Go ahead and do my little tongue right there too. But we're doing all the nitty gritty. So this is designed by Simon Hurley. So exciting that he is popping in. So I put that double-sided adhesive back here, but I think I actually need to go ahead and fit my tongue and everything in there. Hang on. I think part of it needs to kind of go behind this. So let's see how it looks here. There we go. Okay, let's put those little eyebrows in that we did. And then we also did, in case, thank you, Simon. I appreciate that so much. So we did skeleton. We did your Sir Skeleton as also. Let's show him Sir Skeleton too. Y'all say hi to Simon. He's popping in our live stream. I appreciate that. I don't think he's ever been in one of my live streams. So we did this one too, just so you can see. He's really fun. We said he has jazz hands. We think he's performing and has jazz hands. He's performing Boo to You. So that was our first one that we made in the live stream. Okay, so we got this gorgeous background now. We can set up our spinner card. One thing that I didn't do on this one to keep it in time for you is that we'll have to make our little banner that goes at the bottom. And our banner is going to say on this one, I liked Happy Haunting. I thought that was kind of cute. So I'm going to create Happy Haunting so that we can line everything up that we need. So it's the same banner that we used before. We're going to use a couple of little brads because I've been really loving using brads lately. And we're going to do Happy Haunting. So I'm going to tape this together and we're going to cut it out of white. So I know I could have done that before. Sorry. It doesn't look like it's going to fit on one of our scraps. So let me get another piece of white. Let's go with this one. We're going to make this kind of blend into the bottom, but we're going to put those brads on it, and it's going to look so cute. If you don't know what brads are, I'll show you in just a second. I'm just going to use some cute brads. And I liked this one being a little bit more letters. That way we could see, because we're going to put some sparkle behind it, and it just looks really cute on the final card. All right. Whatever. I'm late, and whatever do you know? Simon Hurley's here. Yeah. He surprised me too. I'm excited. Okay, so this one's Happy Haunting. We're going to make it green and we're going to make it fit right here, but I need to know how big it is to make sure that I've got enough room for these tombstones as we start setting them up. So let's get our spinny tombstones, and then we can start working on where we're going to put Frank to spin, because Frank needs enough room to make sure he spins, okay? So with Frank, I actually, because he needs this height, so you remember, you got to pay attention to what's in your background. He needs height. So we're actually going to use a little bit of, we're going to use some foam tape, and we're going to place him a little bit higher because he's going to need to go over this middle stone. So this middle stone is going to be here. I'm going to put these off to the side because I don't want him running into the other spinner. And let's see what else. So we're going to put these here, and then we got to have Frank up here kind of hovering but not covering these up. So I'm going to place my two with the spinners first, and then this one will stick up just ever so slightly. So we got our little spinners here. Like I said, the heavier it is, the more it spins. So Frank is going to spin more than our little, our cute little headstones. So y'all say hi to Simon because he designed this set. How cool is that? Okay, we're going to bring it down just a bit. Okay, he's going to go right here. Yeah. Then we got our spinnies. Look at how cute that looks. And then this one, I'm going to put just a little bit of foam tape and put him in the middle, but I need to make sure he's not covering up my sign. Go just a little bit higher for him. Like right about here. That should still give him room to spin. Let's check him out with a spinner. So I'm going to use a large spinner on Frank. Let's make sure he's got enough room to spin. I think he's going to end up needing a piece of foam tape to make sure. So he's kind of heavy. So you got to kind of play with his balance because he's a heavier, you know, he's made out of spare parts. So he's a heavier guy. He's heavier than our other thing. So he balances best at his neck. So this may be a little bit lower than what you'd think. So if he's balancing best at his neck, let's see how that goes. He's probably right about there, but we can work on him. Yeah, we'll work on that. He's balancing kind of the best right here. So let me get a little bit of foam tape for this guy, and we'll start working on that. I'm going to do this same foam tape that's only about 1/16 of an inch, which is about, I think, a millimeter. So I'm going to use that down the middle just to give this middle tombstone a little bit of height. Sure, I can show the dies again. Yeah, let me just, somebody wants to see the actual dies, I think. Maybe a little bit crooked. There we go. Okay, so here he is. So the dies are not in any special packaging or anything, but these are, here we go. Somebody's asking to see those, so hang on. I put mine all on a sheet of, here's all the dies. We've got Frank over here with his dies, and then we have the skeleton over here. So the dies are called Sir Skeleton, and I think it's Frank. I think it's Frank. So he does not completely spin around this. That's why I'm going to add a piece of foam tape to his spinner. So I'm going to do a regular piece of foam tape, and that's going to give him a little bit of height and clearance to make sure that he can spin past all those other objects. So just cut yourself like a little piece, and we're going to put it behind the spinner. So I'm just going to kind of stick it here. And then let's see how he does. And remember, all that's going to be hidden, so if it sticks out a little bit, no big deal. All right, let's see how that does, because that's going to give him some more clearance. Yeah, that gives him enough clearance that his arms don't hit the tombstones and all that. Okay. So I'm going to punch out all these. We're going to go ahead and do, before we attach him to the card, I want everything else attached to make sure that it's as flat as possible. I may even put one of those foam pieces on the back to make sure that this panel stays as flat as possible so it gets the maximum amount of spinning. So I've got my happy haunting. You could keep all those letters if you want. I am not going to do that. I'm going to color that green real quick. Let's let these start to spin. Woo! Frankie. So is it Frankie? Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to do happy haunting, and we'll do a quick little green color on him, and then we're going to finish that spinner. But I want to make sure my panel is so flat. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to get us some mowed lawn. Just go over this really quick. Not going to take a second. We're going to go ahead and make this blend into our bottom. So mowed lawn and a little bit of rustic wilderness. Need to locate rustic wilderness. This is a little darker green. Yeah, they're great. They're so fun. So is his name Frank? I don't remember what his die cut name is. But I just call him Frank. And to me, Frank is like so happy to make a friend. Frank's like, hey, this guy put me together and I have no friends. And so I'm happy haunting. I'm saying hi to everybody with a big old smile. He's just so happy. Y'all like that I make little stories behind my dies? I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to add just a smidge of black and then we'll be good. We're going to put sparkly like the what we used on the, sorry, trying to talk and do the same. What we used on the skeletons. We're going to use that glitter behind this. I'm just giving it a little bit more distress with the black. And then we're going to use brads. So like I was saying, if you hadn't seen what brads are, I'll show you real quick. These are brads, and we're going to use teeny tiny ones, but they stick through and give you that cute little dot there. So cute. So let me grab our sparkly paper that we can put behind. We're just going to cut a little sliver. And I think it looks really, so here's what the sparkly paper looks like. Let me get a long enough sliver, but look at how cute that looks. Ooh, that looks good. Well, let's cut a little piece off here for Happy haunting. I'm just going to do this with scissors. That means I'll probably need to trim it, but that's okay. It's that same glitter we did with our skeletons, and we're going to put it behind here. And just tape it to it. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did last time, which is just a little teeny strip of double-sided adhesive. Yes, definitely need to dig your brads out. Oh my goodness, they look so good on Halloween cards. I don't know what it is. It's just like that cute little extra. So I want to know how many of you have ever made a spinner card. Just like say yes, I've made one, or no, I've never made one. I know we talked a little bit about this, but I'm just curious to know because we got more people in here today. And y'all make sure you hit the like button. That helps people find this on replay. And you can always watch it on replay or catch the sections you missed. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't bother me at all. If anything, it probably helps me out. Okay, so we got happy hauntings. Now, to put the brads in, you need to make a hole. And so I've got this teeny tiny little hole puncher. You probably have one in your craft room somewhere, but I've got a little small hole puncher. So I'm going to punch right at this edge, and we're going to put the brad through. And it's hard to get that lined up for sure, but just stay tuned. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I punched a little hole there. Okay, so people, you two have not made one. Everybody else, who's made a spinner card? Anybody made one? Yes, no? So we got two holes now. Now we get to use our little brads. So I'm going to use these, put them through the holes. So if you're not on my email mailing list, make sure you do that. Oh, good. So somebody, you made a few. Yep. So these have little spikes on the back you got to open. So you got to turn you got to make sure you don't have part of it sticking out. If you do, you can cut it with scissors. So see how part of my brad is sticking out that edge? Just use your big old Tim Holtz scissors and cut it. It's real thin metal. So you got one there, one more. And we're going to add just a little bit of sorry, I can't talk and add brads at the same time. Yeah, so I cannot, Karen, I don't know. I have looked for it everywhere. This one actually has one side. I've looked for it and I'm not sure if it's available anymore. I think they have other things that do punch holes, but I've seen it like on Amazon a couple places, but I'm just not sure if it's the real one. You know how Amazon can be sometimes. So I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm sure there's something to replace it, but I just don't know what it is. They used to have all those little handheld ones, you know, that would do it. I'm going to pick up these little pieces I cut off with some tape. There we go. See, I cut those little pieces off, and this one was broken, so that's why I got it. Okay, I'm going to do flat double-sided adhesive on the back of this. Is that one too thick? Probably. And then we'll place it, and then we'll work on our spinning card. Okay. So let's put this on the bottom, and let's see if we can get this guy spinning. I think my next live stream with you all is Altenew. We'll be doing some fun cards with them. I think that is in mid-September. So it'll be a little bit of time, but I've got videos every week, don't worry. Okay, we're going to go right there. Okay, so these two spinning well. Now we got to decide what we're going to do here with Frank. Let's go. I'm going to put this part down. We're going to adjust. Now I want to bend Frank's arms up a little bit, and I'm even going to bend his head just a little bit just to try to get the center where that's going to be bent down. So I'm going to kind of adjust him a little bit just to keep him as level as possible where he's going to be hitting this spinner. Do you see how that makes a difference? He's going to spin much better now. Hang on. As I say that, and he doesn't spin right. He's going to spin a lot better. Definitely bring his head up a little bit if you can, okay? You're trying to get him as flat as you can on the back. So I'm going to hold this with some tweezers. Actually, hold on. Let's attach it to him first, then we'll attach it on the other part. So my cardstocks, I said I might try to do something to flatten this cardstock, but it's pretty good. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just leave it like it is. I'm putting some glue right here. And remember, we've already determined that it's his neck that seems to be the balance point. So here we go. That's good. So I'm going to let that dry for just a second, and then we'll attach him to the card. So that seems to be his balance point. He definitely needs to move down just a little bit so that his head's not going off the card. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so let's let him dry. While he's drying, I'll show you my skeleton card. The skeleton card is going to be the replay giveaway. And then we'll add, and then the live stream winner has won this card. So that's Sissy. She won the live stream. But the replay is going to win Boo to You. So here's what I'm going to say. Here's going to be our replay question. Tell me what is your favorite tradition at Halloween? Do you have a tradition with your family? What's your favorite? Tell me about that in the comments for the replay so that I can pick you and hopefully you win this little card. And then I'd like to know some things. What kind of interactive cards do you want to see next? Yeah, okay, so somebody said, so Linda said that Blick Art Materials might have a hole puncher. Isn't he cute? Gosh, he's cute. Sissy, I hope you love this card. He's so cute. I hope you have fun with it. So yeah, tell me what your favorite Halloween tradition is, and then tell me in the replay, of course, for the replay giveaway. All right, so I feel like he's probably dry enough with the spinner. He seems to be. And then I'm going to take that. No, he's actually not dry enough yet. That spinner's still moving around just a little bit. Let's give it a second. Okay, and I'm adding a little bit of glue there too, just so that I've got some movement space for where this guy's going. So let's lift him up. I love Frankie too. Yep, that definitely wasn't dry, was it? I was holding him and I was looking at the thing and he fell off. So he needs to dry just a little bit longer. What shall we do here? We got a glue spot. Are we going to notice that? I don't think so. Maybe. Sorry, Sissy. I needed to let him dry a little bit more. That's the only thing about making them is that you need to dry it. Oh, dressing up like a witch every year. So tell me too, like if you were making Halloween cards, what's your favorite little character for Halloween? Like I love those like witches' legs and witches' hats, and but Frank here is just too cute to resist. He and the skeleton are really, really fun. It's okay if they answer it live too, though. That's fine. You just may want to answer it later. Do you think hot glue would work to secure the spinner? So the only thing I would say with the hot glue is, can you be sure that it smooths out its surface? Can it, because if it's lumpy, it's going to affect the spinner. So that's the only thing, is that, let's see if this will stay on now. There he goes. Yeah, I like the witch's legs under the house. Yeah, this is a cutesy Halloween. I love it. So he's going. His little skeletons are going. I mean, I will pick him up and show him to you in a minute, but he's got to dry. And I can see that he needs to be like pulled up just a little bit on this edge too. Like his hand was kind of going down. So even though I dropped glue right there, it kind of just looks like it's supposed to be there. I love it when that happens. Look at how cute he is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so tell me too. Let's pick which of our cards was a favorite from this live stream. Is it Frank, or let me grab the skeleton? And then y'all answer that as a replay. Tell me your favorite tradition as a replay thing so that you got that. So here it is. So we got Frank. Wonder if they can both spin at the same time or if the skeleton's going to run into him. Ooh, close. I think I need to put the skeleton over just a smidge more, or they're going to run into each other. So tell me, which is your favorite, skeleton or Frankie? So the skeleton, his whole body goes. He's doing his jazz hands. Frankie goes a little faster because he's more compact. I mean, I probably could spin the other one that fast, but you see the spinning amount is different based on the weight. So these spin a little bit, but they're not very heavy, so they don't spin for as long as like Frankie does. I see a lot of Franks. Yeah, Frank is pretty cute. He's going to take a little while to dry. What do you think about the googly eyes? I love the googly eyes. Yeah, he is more colorful. It's easier to make a colorful Frank than it is a colorful skeleton. All right, so y'all tell me in comments which of these were your favorite. I will be back again soon. On Monday, I'm going to have, if you're on my email newsletter list, make sure you check that. I'm a part of a new class. I'm doing a craft room organization for a big summit that has like 100 different teachers. So make sure you sign up for that. It is free, but sign up through my link. That really helps. I think Frank's winning. Is Frank winning? We have some skeleton people pulling through. Y'all push that through. And then remember, if you were the winner, it will be announced in the pinned comment, and I will reply to you on there. I love the googly eyes also. How Frank's mouth goes when you're spinning. Let's see. Yeah, it's like he's saying, ah. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all spending part of your Saturday with me. Thank you so much. If you're shopping Spellbinders, please, or shopping anything, just make sure you use my affiliate link. That's so much fun. Okay, so somebody said, what is the narrow double-sided tape that you used? Let me look at which ones you're talking about. Are you talking about the foam tape or this one? I don't think I put this in there. Look at how much of a mess this is. I got it all, the middle of it came out. But this one is a 1/8 inch, and I believe this is from Simon Says Stamp, or I think you can also get this 1/8 inch at Lawn Fawn. I think you can get it at scrapbook.com. They may have their own brand of it. Which one this one is, I think it's Simon Says Stamp, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's a 1/8 inch. And then I also used the really thin foam tape from Altenew. This one is a really thin, like a millimeter foam tape. It just helps if you already got a lot of bulk on your cards to not add too much bulk. So the difference in it and regular foam tape, I'll show you the difference in the thickness. So do you see the difference in the thickness? This one is definitely thicker than this one. Yeah. Thanks so much, Simon. Yeah, if you're still here, thank you for joining us. That was a fun surprise. I'm sorry that I'm doing with my AirPods. Usually we've got like a whole mic set up. It's like we had some technical issues today, but don't we always with live streams? So today the lab mics were not working, so we had to go with AirPods. Yeah, thank you so much. How do you find my Amazon list? So I have an Amazon store that's Nicki Hearts Cards. And so it's amazon.com/shop/ Nicki Hearts Cards, which Rachel will probably throw in the description for you or in the chat for you. If not, you can always find it on my website under shop with me. And my website's NickiHeartsCards.com. So we've got both of those options. All right. Any final questions? Any final questions? I hope to see you again in a couple of weeks. And I will, of course, be having some regular videos that are a little bit shorter on my channel the next 2 Fridays. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Yeah. Make sure you answer the replay question, which is, what is your favorite Halloween tradition? Do you have a cool Halloween tradition that you do? Do you love doing something specific? I'd love to hear about that. So just make sure you let me know. Oops. Put a little piece of foam tape on his toe. Oops. Hope this gave you lots of info on spinners. They can be a little bit like there's definitely a learning curve to that. And the learning curve is just making sure that you balance them, consider what they're going to hit on your card, consider your backgrounds, make sure you don't have something standing up that the thing is going to run into, and just really before you glue those down, make sure that you're being real careful on where your placement is. Make sure that it's landed on the card, that it's not hitting things, and it's moving well. And then you have a perfectly flat surface. Like on this one, remember we did foam tape to make this backing flat, and we added a little piece of cardstock to make sure we had a flat platform. This one we didn't have to worry about as much because it didn't have the embossing on it. Have a great rest of your weekend. Yes. And the question for the replay giveaway was, what is your favorite Halloween tradition? If you carve pumpkins, if you do whatever. I just love to hear what people do for Halloween. It's a fun holiday. All right. If you're going to make one of these cards yourself, I'd love for you to tag me on social media. I'm Nicki Hearts Cards everywhere. I hope to see you soon. Let me pop back in here. All right. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much. I can't wait to watch all these comments. If I missed it, I'll try to watch on replay and be able to chat back with you there. Thank you.